Pelosi is reportedly trying to block AOC from landing a top House oversight position. If you don't know, the Oversight Committee is one of the most important committees. I would say, well, actually, no, not one of the most important. It's one of the, it's like that committee to be in. The Oversight Committee it's that. Let's just say the least. So Nancy Pelosi and AOC, if you don't know, they have been having a complicated relationship, and that is an understatement. Clock that T. And so right now, Nancy Pelosi, she's trying to pull strings because AOC, she is a front contender for that Oversight Committee chair position, and Nancy Pelosi is not having it. She is not having it. Before we begin today's video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Clock that. So we're going to go ahead. Ow, not me hitting my hand. Sorry. And my whole desk shaking. That's crazy. So before we even begin through this article, I'm just not surprised at all. And it's crazy to me because it's like Nancy Pelosi, she really represents some of the older Democratic mindsets that just wants to just keep things the way they are and never want change and never wants to try new things. That's kind of like why 2024 ended up being what it was, because it's like, okay, you tried to keep the old Democratic Party, you wanted to keep Joe Biden in there, and you wanted him to do another term till last minute. You're like, okay, we're gonna switch it off. And then you weren't even too fond, allegedly, you weren't even too fond of Harris to begin with anyway. But I just think that Democratic Party, they just need a whole reshaping, like the whole reshaping. It's one of those things where they actually have to like meet in the middle, because there's some things within the progressive platform that is really, really, that I 100% agree with, especially when it comes to our healthcare. Y'all know I'm really, really big on public health. Like, I don't play about that. And then there's some things within the moderate sector that I'm just like, okay, I really, really agree with as well. I think there's things within the progressive policies that are just too far left that is not going to appease to both sides, that I think people are actually losing their marbles on. And then there's things within the moderate sector that's like, okay, I think we can handle that. We can do that in whatever the case may be. But we're going to go ahead and get started. Representative AOC is facing powerful source of opposition in her bid to lead Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, with whom she has had complicated relationship with, and who is now urging colleagues to back Representative Connolly, which is a Democrat in Virginia, for the top spot instead. Mind you, Representative Connolly, he is allegedly, I always say the word allegedly because I'm so careful with my words, even though it's already been reported, is going through some health conditions currently. He is going through some health conditions, and he is an older man. He's like 74 or 75. And I want someone younger. I would prefer to see someone younger, but I would prefer to see someone younger and not so like far left, if that makes sense. I think AOC, she's a powerhouse. She's there. I think she's really compromised a lot within her career in the House in regards to trying to get things done. But sometimes I do think that she can be so stuck in her ways, like she feels like it's her way and the highway, that it comes off as if like, okay, you have to compromise. You have to like look at it from a different point of view. You can't just say, okay, it has to be this, it has to be that. So I think that's where she lacks in. I would love to still see someone in her age range to hold that seat. However, I just would love to see someone who is more of more compromising, more willing to be more moderate, sort of say. So while Pelosi, like Connolly, is a senior member of the Democratic caucus who has served in the House for decades, that has not stopped her from backing other insurgent bids from younger members, like Representative Jamie Raskin, Democrat from Maryland, who conceded his position atop the Oversight Committee to challenge Representative Jerry Nadler, Democrat from New York, for leadership of the Judiciary Committee. AOC, who's 35, and Connolly, who's 74, announced their respective campaigns to replace Raskin earlier this month. Time goes by so fast, because I generally remember when AOC first got in the House, and the fact that she's 35 now, which is still young, vibrant, that's like wild to me, because I think it was like a documentary or whatever the case it was. Was it like a documentary or a movie or something like that? Like, she was knocking those doors. She was a bartender. She was grinding and grinding. She was not playing. So all props to AOC. One thing about her, she is going to work. She is a good worker, a hard worker at that. So the contest underscores a stark generational contrast, with the younger members like AOC arguing that they have more energy and ability to take on the On the incoming Republican trifecta, Connolly was diagnosed with esophageal cancer last month and is seeking chemotherapy treatment. I do think that the Democrats, they do need a powerhouse, though. A spot on the Oversight Committee is a co-vetted position, as the panel has broad investigative powers and jurisdiction over most of the executive branch of federal government. Pelosi, in conversations with lawmakers, has made clear her opinion with AOC should not be entrusted with leading Democratic efforts there. Two House Democrats told Punchbowl News. So Pelosi's office has not commented on this matter. Why haven't you commented? So it's not the first time Pelosi and AOC have been at odds. The former speaker and the progressive New Yorker have clashed before over the direction of the party. Despite Pelosi's reported efforts, however, AOC might already hold a clear advantage, with the House Democrat telling Access that she pretty much has the entire Oversight Committee with her, while committee ranking members, the top position a member from the minority party can hold, are recommended by the caucus steering committee and then voted on by whole caucus. So the Democrat who spoke of Connolly's cancer diagnosis said that their gut tells me that she gets it. Still, the lawmakers noted leadership of the Oversight Committee is not a firm lock until the full caucus casts its vote. The current House Democratic leadership, including Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, has remained publicly neutral. One thing about Hakeem Jeffries, he gonna play both sides. That man's a politician. He gonna play both sides. He's like, okay, Nancy, you may or may not be able to use me as a puppet, but I'm gonna make sure my relationship with the progressives and all that, they're still intact. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. The reason why I'm not surprised is because Nancy Pelosi has been trying to pull strings for the longest. I think that the Democrats, they just need, not even Democrats, I think that politics in general, a lot of them, they just need to hang it up. They generally need to hang it up. And I don't even understand half of them. It's just like, you make so much money, you have so much money. How come you're not retiring? Because at this point, you're just desperate for power. Because why is your hand still in the mix? Like, when we recycle all these same old politicians like the Clintons, the Bidens, Pelosi, and all that, I'm just like, yo, just let the new people come in. Like, even with Joe Biden losing this election, it's like when 2028 comes, I don't know if there's anybody out there that I'm just like, okay, that is the next leadership within the Democratic Party. That is the next face of the Democratic Party. Because it's like everybody, like, there's people that we can like throw out there. I know people throw in Gavin Newsom, which y'all know how I feel about that. Like, no thank you. And I know people throw out Mark Kelly. Mark Kelly's pretty good, but he's not really like out there. People throw out Hakeem Jeffries as well. People throw out Gretchen Whitmer for, like, these are potential Democratic candidates or whatever. But I just feel like that's what the Democratic Party is like lacking, is like that true leader, like the unapologetic leader, someone who's willing to work with both sides, but they're not like no Trump either. And I think for the Republican Party, it's been Donald Trump for the last almost 10 years. Since Donald Trump started running, he came in hot and he did not care. And now look at him, going to be president again. So there's that. But I want to know your thoughts on the comments down below. What do you think with this dynamic with AOC and Nancy Pelosi? Do you think it's really fair for Nancy Pelosi to pull her strings? Do you think she needs to take her seat, or do you feel like she's trying to save the Democratic Party? What are your thoughts on that? Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media, as we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. I love y'all all. God bless y'all. This is Uduak, connecting people with policy. Ta-da!